Most of the information that is in our new book cannot be found in other books, nor can it be found online. Stan and I have done a lot of archival research. He's been doing it a lot longer than I have, about 50 years. I've been doing it for probably about 20 years. And the picture that you see of the two of us is at the American Philosophical Society in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I went there on 3 different multi-day trips, and I came home with more than 1,000 pages of archival documents that I either photocopied or photographed. Those documents were of such interest to me initially because Philip Klass gave my Aunt Betty Hill such a hard time. And I wanted to know what it was about him, what motivated him to disseminate the disinformation that he did about so many of the highly credible cases, and why he wanted to destroy not only the story, but the people themselves. And I found a lot of information there. Not only did I find that, but I found that Edward Condon's correspondence files are there, Dr. Edward Condon from the Condon Committee. Also, Dr. Donald Menzel. Donald Menzel taught at Harvard. He was an astrophysicist, but I had no idea that he was sort of an insider. He worked on contracts for the federal government. He made a lot of trips to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. He was very closely connected, and very closely connected with Edward Condon. In fact, they were fishing buddies. That was really an eye-opener to me. There was correspondence between Philip Klass and Robert Lowe, and I could see how much Philip Klass influenced the Condon Committee's work, especially Robert Lowe and Edward Condon. So that was very, very eye-opening. When I went, Stanton said to me, well, I want photocopies of the correspondence files with Philip Klass. He had written to Philip, they've had correspondence for a good 20 to 30 years, probably closer to 30, but there was not one Stanton Friedman file at the American Philosophical Society. Very interesting. There was a Linda Moulton Howe correspondence file. There was a Dr. Bruce Maccabee correspondence files with many of the leading researchers, but nothing on Stanton except for a page here and there. And what I found was that Philip Klass stacked the deck against Stanton to make Stanton look like a charlatan. Made me very, very angry to see that, because Stanton was the valedictorian of his high school class. He has bachelor's and master's degrees from the University of Chicago. He worked in private industry for 14 years as a rocket scientist. And here we have evidence, supposed evidence, at the American Philosophical Society with some of the greatest minds in this country of Stanton looking like a charlatan, which is not right at all. So that sort of set the tone for me for the work that I wanted to do. And Stanton did go with me on this trip, and he asked the archivist if he could give them his own file. So I'm hoping that that is going to happen. To date, as far as I know, it has not. But he certainly deserves the opportunity to put his files there.